Okay, I don't want to talk about the trade show anymore. I want to talk about AI. We've brought this up before. There's a new article from the University of British Columbia talking about the voracious energy demands of AI. Um, with the U.S. company OpenAI, they raised $6.6 billion in their last funding. And we have noticed, and I've seen chatter about it amongst the trades of how much work these data centers are bringing because they're trying to build them up like crazy, right? Um, they recently announced the Alphabet, the Google company or the parent company of Google, their emissions are up 48%. Microsoft's are up 29%, both of them since 2020. That's in the last 5 years. There's a voracious appetite for their data centers. And they, according to one researcher, the one query to ChatGPT uses approximately as much energy as one light bulb for 20 minutes. And get this, the collective energy demand for data centers in the US is so high that Microsoft recently reached a deal to reopen 3 Mile Island, the site of the worst nuclear accident in American history. I haven't heard that anywhere. The burgeoning AI industry needs so much electricity that plans to decommission several coal plants have been delayed. By some estimates, the collective demand of AI and other digital technologies will constitute 20% of the global electricity by 2030. They're also saying that there's some defects, insidious defects within AI, which I think is hilarious. And this is sort of on the social side of things. I'm just going to find this here. So I'm just going to pause this because I got to scroll through this. So there's a bunch of, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but the chatbots we studied were far more likely to blame governments for environmental challenges rather than businesses or financial organizations. The government's not going to like that. Similarly, while the vulnerability of indigenous groups to climate change and the biodiversity loss was frequently mentioned, and the susceptibility of Black people and women to these same challenges received scant attention. People aren't going to be happy about that. And then, hang on one more second here. It's a very interesting thing. There's no doubt about that. If AI users treat text uncritically, so you just type it in and you believe instantly whatever is being said, which we've all been subject to on social media, they risk arriving at conclusions that propagate biased conceptions of environmental challenges and reinforce ineffective efforts to avert ecological crises. So, not the AI bots aren't in favor of climate change, and they don't appear to be social justice warriors, which will upset a few people. They are also about considering incorporating advertising to generate revenue needed to train newer and more complex large language models. It's interesting that a bunch of the user agreements that you get on your apps on your phones, they're using those to sort of understand how people talk and use that as the language model so it can make it smarter. And while it remains unclear what advertising will look like when integrated into ChatGPT, it is not difficult to see a world in which the description of climate change and its attendant solutions will be brought to you by none other than the good folks at ExxonMobil and Shell. Like, that's bananas. That's going to be the bottleneck, in my opinion. And why AI is not going to take over the world, despite what Elon Musk hopes for. He says that everybody's going to have a robot here in the very near future. They may have one, but how are you going to power it? We're currently basically over our electricity limits, and how are you going to do it? You're going to start doing nuclear? Maybe. I think nuclear is a fabulous option, but there is a lot of public sentiment to overcome if you're going to start building nuclear power plants. I cannot believe I had not heard that anywhere before. That they are reopening 3 Mile Island. I'm going to dig. Hang on one second. We'll finish it up when I look into this. So it refers me to an article on NPR article that's saying that 3 Mile Island will open to power Microsoft's data centers, which is responsible for providing the tech giants' cloud computing and artificial intelligence programs. The deal will create 3,400 jobs and bring more than $3 billion into the state and federal taxes, according to Microsoft. And said the agreement will add $16 billion to Pennsylvania's GPT. The agreement will span 20 years, and the plant is expected to reopen in 2028. Why haven't we heard about that? Or have I? I don't know. Maybe it's just... The problem is there's so much crap going on right now that nobody has any idea of what the hell to pay attention to. And of course, they quote Bill Gates in here prior to his reveal of his Russian virus. Gross. Anyway, and so that plant has been closed since March 28th, 1979. So that is an interesting take on what's going on in this world. Listen, man, it's mad times. It's mad times. I wish you guys all luck in whatever you do, navigating this crazy world that we found ourselves in, that we're all a part of. And hopefully we can come to some reasonable solutions and to the problems that exist. And, frankly, stop being quite so divided on party lines, on stuff that really doesn't matter. I think we've seen recently are intentionally done to drive confusion, and so that these billionaires and multi-billion companies can do whatever the hell they want, whenever the hell they want to do it. As usual, all of my thoughts, not yours. Hit me up. Let's have a conversation. We're going to go after this hardcore. It's going to start happening. So I look forward to it. We'll see you on the next one. Till then, listen to your mother.